Alright guys, welcome to my first cocktail video. Originally I did record this with sound, however, it didn't really come out exactly how I wanted it to, so I'm just doing this voiceover, playing with a couple different formats here. We'll see how things go. I'll just list the cocktail ingredients on the video as it goes along here. So this first cocktail I'm making is kind of a play on a Negroni. Except I'm swapping out the base of gin for a pot still Jamaican rum. This stuff called the Funk is super dope. It's got a lot of like funky banana, plantain, like tropical notes like that. A lot of big fruit, and it comes in at 100 proof. So I love it, especially for like a Negroni. It brings the proof up a little bit for me. When you're drinking at home, you only need one or two of these to get you going. And I'm doing a split base on the sweet vermouth here, so I'm using like 3/4 of sweet vermouth and then a 1/4 ounce of this allspice dram that I made at home. If you guys want to see another video where I explain how to make this allspice dram, I can, but you can also buy it at any like Bevmo or good liquor store that you trust. So we're going to stir this cocktail. It's got just booze and sugar ingredients in it, so you don't need to shake it or anything like that. If you wanted to, you could build this in the glass, but since I have the tools here, I might as well show you guys how to use them. So we're going to put this over one big rock. And just so you guys know, like, these videos, I'm going to do some like fun stuff. I want to do maybe some classics, some stuff that I like, but because we're in a quarantine, basically just using ingredients that I have on hand and getting creative with them. So hopefully this inspires you to get creative with some of the stuff that you have on hand at home. So once we pour this over our big rock, which by the way I got from Revolution Craft Ice, they make some great cubes to add whatever size or dimension you like. We're going to give that a nice big orange peel, drop it in, and serve it to yourself. Okay, so for this next cocktail, I'm doing unnecessary flair right there. I'm doing a cocktail for Melissa because she loves gin drinks. This is a classic cocktail called a Jasmine Cocktail. I really like this one. I don't know the history of it or when it was invented. Probably should have looked that up before doing this recording. But it's a fun one. I always like to throw it around there when somebody likes a Negroni, but they also like something that's refreshing and sour. So we're using Grand Marnier here, but you can use Cointreau or any triple sec really. This is just what I have on hand for a triple sec. You could also use a dry Curacao. Pierre Ferrand has a great product out there. And we're using these things in combined to create the sweet, so there's no like sugar or syrup added to this. So the last ingredient is just some lemon juice. And this cocktail, because it has juice, we're going to shake it. So we're putting our ice in, closing our tin, and we're going to shake this till it's all the way cold. Give it some nice dilution. I'm going to put this in an up glass, so you always want to make sure things that you're not going to serve over ice are nice and diluted. So kill that tin. I'm just picking out my favorite little sour glass right here. The gin I'm using in this cocktail right now is the Botanist. It's a Isla style dry gin, kind of like a London dry style. It has 22 botanicals. It's really good. I think it comes in like 46% ABV. Works really, really well on cocktails. I love this drink so much because it has that like nice deep red hue to it. And this just gives a nice big lemon peel. And we're just going to rub that around the rim of the glass and on the stem. So you get that lemon oil on your fingers, and boom, there it is. Alright, this last cocktail I'm going to do for you, I want to do something kind of tiki-esque. Excuse the hand and body gestures here. I just get excited about tiki cocktails. This one is called the Queen's Park Swizzle, except we're going to do it a little bit differently here. You don't need any rum specifically for this, but you just need one bottle of rum. That'll work for you. This one's cool too. You can build it in the glass. You don't need any tools or anything like that. You just need mint, lime, some sort of sugar source, and rum. It's kind of like a mojito, but it does have some nuanced little details that kind of step it up a bit. So the sugar that I'm using right here, this is technically it's a simple syrup, but it's a coconut sugar simple syrup. That was the only sugar they had left at the store after everybody raided the shelves. So I don't have any regular sugar on hand, which is fine. You can do that too. If you have honey or agave, you can use those things. Just make sure, especially when you're using honey, to dilute it first, because when it gets cold, it won't actually mix with the water very easily. But this stuff works fine. The only bummer about it is that it makes the cocktail really, really dark and kind of muddy. So not a super pretty presentation at the end, but you still get lots of flavor in there. The rum I'm using here that I have is this Plantation OFTD. It stands for Old Fashioned Traditional Dark, or if you're a bartender, it stands for Oh Fuck That's Delicious, because this stuff is super duper good. It is overproof, so that means it comes in, it could mean really anything over like 60%, but this has 69% alcohol. Nice. So we're putting that in the glass with about a handful of mint. In retrospect, I probably put in too much mint. As you can see, this thing turns in kind of like a mint milkshake in here. And it is a swizzle, so the technique is in the name. There is a tool called a swizzle stick, which you can get one, but I just use a bar spoon like this. It works fine. It looks kind of like a bar spoon, except it has 5 prongs at the end. It's kind of like what they used as blenders before we had electricity, which is a little fun fact there. So just put this in with the crushed ice and just rub it between your hands, kind of like you're trying to start a fire. And as you can see, I'm kind of like breaking up the mint, mixing up all the crushed ice in there. Especially if you're a dummy like me and you use a super overproof rum, you want to make sure there's plenty of dilution in that drink before you take a sip, because alcohol can actually get ice down lower than freezing temperature, and if you get it cold enough, it will stop melting the ice for a short amount of time while you're drinking it. That being said, if you have a really, really hot rum, this drink can taste really, really boozy if you're not careful. So that's why I always like to use crushed ice in these tiki drinks with like really high proof spirits. So we're going to top that off with crushed ice. You always want more ice than liquid when you're making stuff like this. And one kind of notable thing about this cocktail, it gets a little float of Angostura Bitters. So you can see me putting it over the top. It kind of looks like a snow cone. Something that makes this drink really, really pretty. Especially if you're using lighter ingredients, lighter rum, you get a nice layer of bitters on top. It looks really, really pretty. Maybe top of the last bit of my crushed ice. And then really simple garnish. You just get the rest of your mint sprigs. Give them a little slap to wake it up a bit. Get those oils up to the surface. Put it in there. And then I'd give it a nice metal straw. I like to use these like julep straws right here because they have the little spoon at the end. It works kind of like a stir stick at the end of everything. So there it is. That's your Queen's Park Swizzle. And there it is, guys. Thanks for watching my first video. I'll probably make some more in the coming future. Let me know what you guys want to see. If you want to see more classics, or maybe just let me know what ingredients you have, and I'll throw something together so you can make it home. Thank you.